Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. So today we'll start discussion on facility location planning. So this is very important concept as far as your operation production and operation management is concerned or supply chain management is concerned, right? So the basic purpose here is we'll decide where we should locate our if you are talking about production facilities, if you are talking about your warehouses, if you are talking about locating your vendors, if you are talking about locating fulfillment centers. So obviously when we are taking those decisions, many different factors will play a role, but yes, one major factor will be how we can minimize the total transportation distance. Minimizing the transportation distance, we can minimize the transportation cost, and then the other factor may be on the side of customer where the level of services required may be very quick services required. So then you want to be somewhere near to your end market, to your end customer, right? So that distance can also be minimized and quickly you can respond to the customer demand. But then yes, then question comes, then we cannot set up so many production facilities, so many fulfillment centers, so many warehouses for each individual market, right? So then we need to take this decision strategically. So that's why this chapter is there of facility location planning. We'll discuss about what will happen if we are not planning as per, while considering all those important factors. We'll talk about the 3-tier model of assessing the location competitiveness, right? And then we'll see what are the factors which are affecting the location decision, and we'll see some of the quantitative qualitative models, how we can use those mathematical model to finalize the location. So facility location planning is basically combination of your operation research field and computational geometry, right? So operation, as I told you, minimizing the transportation cost by minimizing the transportation distance. In the transportation session also we will discuss about how we can minimize the total distance. So operation research, where we will look for some initial basic feasible solution. We are transporting raw material from various factories to manufacturing location, or maybe from various manufacturing locations to different markets, right? So how we can strategically design, and then we can go for optimal solution where we can minimize the total distance, we can minimize the total cost, right? So important factor, another important factor may be if you are dealing with some kind of hazardous material. So then also you will avoid being near to the society, right? So that also may spread the infection in the society. So in that way, if you are dealing with those kind of products, right? Because every industry is coming up with some byproducts. So whenever manufacturing things are happening, so waste is also coming out of that. So facility location decisions are strategic. Having said that, that means it will have long term impact, which is quite obvious. If you are setting up your manufacturing facility here in Kharagpur or in Calcutta, obviously you are looking forward for maybe next 20-30 years, or maybe more than that. You see how frequently we are changing. Let's talk about our IIT KGP campus. So how frequently we'll change this campus from this location to some other location? This will never happen, right? So even if we talk about some production facilities, as long as those production facilities are meeting all the requirements and are efficient in that way and getting all the resources required, we need not to think about changing those locations, right? So, and then it will have impact, long term impact on the organization profitability, productivity, right? And once you have invested, you cannot reverse those decisions, because it is capital intensive, right? I can remind the case of this Tata Nano plant in West Bengal, Singur, right? And they invested, huge investment was done to set up that initial infrastructure, and then they have to withdraw there from, maybe because of some political issues, some farmer agitation was going on, all those things were there. But yes, then the problem was the location was not fixed properly, taking care of all those factors which may be very important while you are starting any new location, right? So as your environment is also dynamic, sometimes technology is changing, sometimes the nature of competition is also changing, consumer base is also changing, right? So we need to take these decisions in the dynamic environment. So whether you have talked about when you are going for new location, if in case required, so can you expand the capacity of the same, because expanding the existing plant capacity is much cheaper and feasible than setting up new plant, right? So then those decisions you need to take in light of these points. Decentralization. So centralization or decentralization, if you are picking up your inventory policy that you will maintain in the centralized warehouse system, right? So then your transportation network you need to design in that way. But if you are decentralizing, so many small order fulfillment centers are there, so then again you need to pick those locations from where the maximum orders are coming. Can we exhaust the full capacity of that small order fulfillment center or not, right? So and then plant shutdown, that cannot easily happen, right? So today you are starting something, tomorrow you will shut it down, that cannot happen. So what will happen if you are going without proper planning? What you will do, you will sell off that facility to another company. Now you invested there, you have your brand image, your many employees are attached with your brand, many local people or maybe the industry are also looking forward towards your new investment, right? And then you suddenly you have to withdraw from there, right? So that means you will sell off your existing facility. Now selling off that inefficient facility which you realized later on obviously will not give you the returns which you were expecting by starting that new facility. So this is forceful decision that you have to sell the facility to some your competitor, some other industry, and then maybe the other industry, the same infrastructure may not be feasible. So then they have to do some again repair of the infrastructure, same machinery will not work, so they have to transport, same manpower will not work, right? So then that is the damage to the overall brand image that company, right? So the second decision may be you close down your operation and liquidate the asset. Similarly, so now you are shutting down any big company brand outlet, that means brand image. You just imagine your people will think about you, right? And then you are liquidating your assets. So somewhere you are selling the furniture, somewhere you are selling your machinery to your competitors, right? So that the further financial losses can be avoided. So liquidation can provide you immediate cash inflow, but then again the book value whatever is right now for all those assets, other than maybe the property rates will still be same or maybe can increase, but if you talk about the other investment, you have developed all the assets, so that you will sell on lower cost, right? So that is again the big question. So managing shutdown is again a problem. So you need to go for layoff of the employees. That is not easy to just fire your employees. You need to comply with all the regulatory requirements, right? So that transition period is also very difficult to manage. Continue operation in the existing location. Now you realize that this existing location is not efficient, but still you don't have any other option. So that means other players may be making 5% profit by selling the same products, and you are still making 1% or 2%, or even sometimes you are struggling to get that 1% even, right? So you know that this is the limitation of this location. You are not getting the raw material, you are not getting manpower, you are not getting the proper technology, the infrastructure parameters. We'll see what are those parameters, factors which will affect your facility location decision. If all those factors are not working for that particular location, so then either you will continue or you will sell your facility or relocate your facility to some new location, right? So again, now you are doing the transition from one location to other location. You are liquidating some assets, you are selling those assets, or maybe some of the assets or machines you are taking away with you, right, to the new location. That is something extra unnecessary cost. During that process, transition process, many defects or damages will happen, and again you are picking a new location, and that is, you are not again sure about how that decision will go, right? So these are some of the things. If you are not considering all those factors and taking that strategic decision in that way, then you are calculating all those factors. So when we are going for this new facility location or facility location, these all situations are there. You are setting up new service center, you are setting up new production facility, you are looking for your new vendors, where those vendors should be, you are looking for new warehouses, where you want to locate the warehouses, so that maybe in that 100-kilometer region you can ensure the same day delivery, right? So anything you are designing, any educational institution you are designing, again you are looking for where that facility location should be, right, where your institute should be, where maybe the land cost may be little cheaper, right? So those many decisions you are taking when you are going for this. So this is whenever you are going for foreign investment or even in the domestic investment as well. First is country competitiveness you are looking for. Like when we are evaluating whether we should go for investment in some country, so major factors you are looking for, maybe the political factor is very, very important. Whether the political scenario is such that they are supporting that particular industry or not, right, with maybe some concession in the customs and duties, or maybe whatever taxes they are charging, or maybe there is welcoming tax kind of structure which right now Indian government is working so that the investment can be invited, right? So that is one point. Technological aspect, whether you are getting that technology in that particular country or you have to import from somewhere else, right? So those operational, whether that country is open for international trade or not, right? What are their policies? Once you have decided particular country, you will see the sector competitiveness. The particular sector, if you are going into real estate industry, or if you are going to hotel industry, or if you are going to manufacturing industry of automobile industry, so then you will see who are other players who are working there. If no player is there, you are starting your automobile manufacturing unit. Let us imagine where you will get the raw material, and for manufacturing car you need more than 500 vendors, or maybe more than that. So developing all together new vendors in new country will be big question, right? And then company competitiveness, whether you are getting that skill labor, quality of infrastructure in that country, or quality of technology. If not, then let us collaborate like Hero did with Honda, Maruti did with Suzuki, so that we can import some foreign technology and can implement here. So what are those factors we need to consider when we are going for facility location? First is availability of minimum primary infrastructure. In that you talk about the road connectivity, in that you talk about the electricity, in that you talk about the IT infrastructure, air connectivity, water facility, whether those primary infrastructure parameters are okay or not. That you need to, because if you are fixing one location, maybe more than 1,000 or maybe 10,000 people are associated with you, and then all those people, so then you need these resources, right? So then what is the location disaster scenario there? Natural disasters, right? If you are setting up your location maybe where the chances of cloud bursting, floods, earthquakes are more, so that's why Japanese organization, they are coming up with that kind of infrastructure, right? Because they are earthquake prone, so anytime that can happen. So how quickly you can, the damage is done, and then how quickly you are responding back. So this is one very beautiful case study of Nissan. You just see how after earthquake, within I think 40 or 45 days, they resumed the operation. So means that kind of strategy may be very helpful in that way. Property tax or corporate income tax, sale tax, what is the structure? Whether your government is providing you single sales tax tax structure or multiple tax structure, tax points are there where they are collecting the taxes, so then you are not maybe comfortable with that kind of structure, right. So that also, you know, a very big hindrance when you are picking up any strategic location. You have that labor availability or quality, what type of human skills are required to operate that particular production plant, that also you need to take. Then construction cost and quality. You might have seen when we are going for, you know, picking up any location. So let's talk about the educational institution only. So we usually set up the facility somewhere little away from the city, because in the main city the cost of construction, the cost of land, the initial investment, right, that will be very high, and then you need big infrastructure, so that will carry huge cost. So in order to avoid that, how you can move little bit away from the main city, and then you can, but then you need to, somewhere you are compromising with the infrastructure available in the main city. So can you, you know, drag all those resources to that point? IT industry already I talked about why it is required. Economic development incentives. So whether sometimes one country maybe, or states within country, some states are also promoting particular industry. So if I take the example of pharmaceutical industry, if we talk about pharmaceutical industry, we are having almost 20% share in the world market, and we are exporting. If we talk about specifically vaccines, we are producing more than 60%. The whole world, whatever is producing, we are contributing 60%. That means somewhere we are promoting that infrastructure. And then we have seen in Himachal also, there is one region specifically in Baddi area where, you know, these incentives are provided to all the pharmaceutical industries, and whatever we are producing in country, almost 30 to 35% production is coming from that area only, right. But that state wants to, you know, promote this particular sector so that the employment opportunities can be generated. This was the main purpose, to generate more employment opportunities within that state. Quality of life, obviously when people are shifting with you, managers, all the technicians, all whatever manpower you are using, so they need good education facilities, they need healthcare facilities, that basic infrastructure where they can enjoy sports activity, cultural facilities, all those things should be there, so that their families can be engaged in that infrastructure. When you are picking the international facility location, almost the same factors will be there, but I will just quickly go what are other factors which you can consider when talking about the economic factors. So other than what we discussed, maybe the transportation is big factor when you are setting up your cheap location in some other country, right, because overseas then transportation, if the demand is coming from some other country, you are manufacturing somewhere other country, you need to take care of that. And then the economic stability of that country as well. Taxation policies already I discussed, and maybe while setting up your production plant in that country, maybe you are getting exposure to new markets. Like now Apple is, you know, planning their manufacturing within India, because now from Indian market they are getting, you know, huge response. So just to take care of that demand, they are setting up plant here. And then environmental factors, environmental regulations, some countries are more conscious about sustainability and all those measures, so how you can take care of that. Political and legal structure, so whether the political stability is there, this already we discussed. Other than that, IPR, how they are providing the, you know, those laws, how they are enforcing that IPR can be protected in a better way, right, and ease of doing business, right. Again, this is political decision. Social factors, maybe the cultural factors very important. The local culture is aligning with your organization culture, what you are doing. And then some demographic trends, like we are saying that we are the youngest, India is the youngest population. So when we are looking for youngest workforce, so maybe then India can be the best location for investment, right. So then technological factors, R&D and innovation, maybe what is the infrastructure for that, whether the government is providing or maybe the academic institutions, higher institutions are collaborating with the those industries for better technology, innovation, product related, services related or manufacturing related. Some additional factors may be supply chain and proximity to suppliers, how maybe suppliers are your in China, so you want to be near to your supplier so that that distance can be managed. Proximity to customers, then Apple is now moving to they are manufacturing in India so that they can minimize the distance, right? Operational flexibility is there. If you can scale up, scale down operations, minimum cost you can do that, whether you can avoid the language and communication barriers, healthcare and education facilities are available or not. So these are some of the factors. When we are going for picking up the location, we can check those factors. So now what are the different options we have when we are picking the facilities, right? First is separate facilities for different products and services. Now like if we have different products, right? So for each product individual facility will be there. If you go to ICICI Bank services, one facility will be there, right? If you go to ICICI mutual funds investment, another facility will be there in the same city. If you go for loans, another facility will be there in the same city. If you go for some other product, maybe investment or some other product, then the other facility will be there, right? So this means when you are going for specialized facility, so that means special services can be provided. In that way, more quality, you are giving more focus on providing the quality services, right? So merging all the services under one roof may be then little bit complex, infrastructure will be there, and maybe consumer also can sometime confuse with the products, right? So then you can, like Procter and Gamble, they are having one facility for solely for manufacturing household cleaning products, other manufacturing facility may be for manufacturing the personal care items, right? So different facilities for different types of products. Separate facility for serving different geography, which is quite obvious. One facility here in Calcutta, other facility may be in Delhi, other facility manufacturing, like how if you talk about automobile industry, they are also setting up different facilities. Taking an example of Amazon, so they are setting up fulfillment center near to big markets, so that immediately they can meet the need coming from those different markets, right? So this will reduce the distance between the consumer and your facility and will reduce the transportation cost as well. Separate facilities for different processes, like let's say if I am having one manufacturing facility where we are doing the assembly, another manufacturing where we are doing molding kind of products, plastic products we are producing, another facility I am having where we are doing the packaging. So these three different units, right? So molding may be the same unit providing the plastic component to my assembly line as well, but then they are selling components to some other competitors or other players as well, right? So that means that is separate entity. So then we can have separate, because separate process, so separate facility will be there. Tesla is doing that, and where Gigafactory is in Nevada, where they are focusing on producing batteries and energy storage products, while their Fremont factory in California is dedicated for assembly line, vehicle assembly line, right? So dedicated operation, streamlined, more efficient, and quality product you can produce if you are having dedicated expertise for that particular facility, right? So evaluating location alternatives, so these all factors will consider. This is not fixed, right? When if you talk about the research also, so many research articles are coming on selecting the plant location, right? So then different methodologies we are using, research methodologies, hybrid methodology we are using at the next level. We will discuss here the basic methodologies, but yes, these factors are not fixed. Sometimes the availability of raw material is very important. Sometimes your industry is dealing with heavy industry, so rail infrastructure is very important. Sometimes your industry is like IT industry, where the quality of life, usually people focus on that, right? So means different industries, different parameters, and then the weightage assigned to those parameters may be different, right? So we'll see that. So first we'll go through the qualitative models where we are taking the subjective judgments from the expert over those parameters. Let's say I am having A, B, C, 3 different locations, and then I am having factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, factor 4, factor n factors are there. Against each factor we will evaluate A, B, C location, right? And then maybe we can compare these factors. So when we are saying qualitative model, maybe we will give them option very good, good, neutral, or poor, very poor, right? Like we can design that scale. That is up to you how you can design the scale. But yes, from maybe 5 to 1 you can design the scale, 7 to 1, 9 to 1, 10 to 1, whatever scale you want to design, right? 5 means very good facility from where you can derive the highest efficiency, right? So that is that belongs to highest score. So this is simple comparison chart analysis model where you can identify the critical subjective factors like quality of life may be one, maybe the availability of raw material may be another one, maybe the education facility another one, healthcare facility another one, the infrastructure, electricity supply, water supply, road supply, those factors are there, and then you can compare those factors among themselves. You can take the subjective criteria into consideration and will say that this facility is best. This is just qualitative. This is point rating method. Again, I was talking about how you can design these different factors are there. These are the location alternatives. Maybe 1 to 10 you are giving a rating to all those locations. When talking about factor 1, which is related to maybe the availability of raw material suppliers, so facility A 9 points out of 10, B 7, C 8, right? And then whosoever is getting the maximum score is the best facility available. But this is qualitative judgment, right? Then factor rating method, again same method, right? Here what we will do, we will assign weightage to these factors, right? This is first factor, out of from 1 to 5 we will assign the weightage. Let's say this is first factor, very important, we will give 3 weightage. Here we will give 2, here we will give 1, 3, 1. Likewise we can assign the weightage. Whenever we are getting the score, we will multiply that score, 9 into 4, 6 into 2, 7 into 1, 5 into 3, 6 into 1. So whatever total score will be, that will be the score of this facility. Similarly, we will find out for B, find out for C, right? Here we are providing the rating to the different criteria we are using to evaluate the factors, and in the end whosoever is getting the best highest score, we can, this is weighted score, we can find out in the qualitative as well, qualitative rating. Now quantitative rating, similarly point rating method like we did in 1 to 5 scale, here also will make out of 1 or 100% you can say, we will assign weightage to different factors, and those factors will be, you will assign cost factor, market factor, operational factor, other whatever list you can prepare, right? What factors you are looking for when you will evaluate the facility location, and then you will assign weight. Let's this total, when you are assigning weight, total weight should be 100, right, or 1. So let's say similarly, if I will take one example and will explain with the help like this example. See, now land cost is 20% weightage is given, construction cost again 20%, proximity to customers again 15%, this is 15% proximity to highways. So that is means all those factors, here only 5-6 factors are there, and this should be 100% or 1, right? So maybe 0.1% is left out, which other factors also you can consider, and these factors will change and the weightage will also change. Now we have given for rating for location A, we have given rating for location B, you just multiply this with the weightage, right, 0.15, 0.1, 0.1, and whatever score you will get for all the facility, you can say location A is better than location B. So here we have assigned the weightage also to, this is first quantitative method, point rating method, where you are assigning weightage to the criteria, and then you are evaluating different locations based on those criteria, multiplying the weights, and you are getting the total score. This is another method which is based on simple median model. Again, now this work on the principle of that we need to find out the coordinates of the locations, and whenever we are going for new location, the purpose here is the new location should have the minimum distance from the old locations. Now these 5 locations are there, right? Now the new location which we are going to find out should have minimum distance from all these 5 locations. So these locations are having these x and y coordinates, and the cost of moving 1 unit distance is 10 rupees, same cost it is kept, right? It can be varied. If you are transporting in hilly area, obviously cost will be higher. So annual load for each this plant is given. Now you can calculate the total load and you find out the total load median. We calculated the median. What is the median of the total load? That's why it is known as simple median model. Now we will draw x and y, and we will draw all these 5 locations based on these coordinates on xy plane, right? So just I'll explain how we'll do that. See, Kanpur location is 50, 10. So you can see Kanpur location is 50, 10, right? Similarly, we can find out the other location, Sultanpur, Shahjahanpur and Bareilly. All those locations we have as per their x and y coordinates we have located. Now we'll move while finding, first we'll find out the x coordinate. While finding the x coordinate, we'll move towards the x axis. Now when we'll move towards the x axis, which one is the first facility coming on the way? First facility is coming Bareilly. So we'll find out what is the load on Bareilly facility. So load on Bareilly facility is 452. Is it covering our median value? Our median value is 1432. No, it is not covering the median value. So we will not consider this one, we will go further. Next facility is coming Shahjahanpur. So that is on this location. Now again we will add this 452 into the value of load of Shahjahanpur, and then this is 453, right? So total is 1130. Is it covering the median value? No, still it is not covering the median value, right? Then again we will not consider this. Next we will go on the x axis. Next is Kanpur facility. So again we will see whether we will add the load of Kanpur facility as well, and if we will add the load of Kanpur facility, we can see it can cover the median value, which is 1432. So the x coordinate of the new location will be the x coordinate of your Kanpur facility, which is 50. Here it is 50. Similarly, we will go for by axis. We will keep on adding the facilities until we will cover this median value, and wherever we will get the median value, we will find out that coordinate, and if here we will move, first 2 facilities will add up, will not cover the median value. Next is your Gonda. If we will add this facility, then we will get the will cover the median value. So that means the by coordinate of the Gonda will be the coordinate y coordinate of your new facility. So where you should set up new facility? You should set up new facility at 50 kilometer x coordinate and 50 kilometer y coordinate. So this is the new facility location. Now we need to find out the transportation distance, and that will be the minimum from the old one. So how we can find out the transportation distance? Rectilinear distance we will find out. Rectilinear distance between 2 points can be calculated like this, right? So we will find out the rectilinear distance from the new plant to every plant. So from 50, 50, if I will find out the distance, you can find out the transportation distance. Here we have found, right? So this is x and y coordinate. The first is 10, 50. So that total distance you can find out, right? And similarly you can find out for the other facilities as well. So now annual load we have, cost per unit distance we have, transportation distance we have. We calculated the transportation distance as well, right? Here it is not added, so I forgot to add this. So you can just add the transportation distance, and this will be for first plant 50 minus 10 magnitude plus 50 minus 80, right. Similarly, we will find out all the entries, whatever value here will come, we will multiply 10 into 452 into this value, that will be your total transportation cost, right. So similarly, you can find out the total transportation, this will be the minimum transportation cost to transport that material. Another is center of gravity method location. Here what we are doing, we are again x and y coordinates we will find out, we are providing the weightage to all the serving locations and all the manufacturing or raw material suppliers. Weightage will be assigned to each, right, and then we will multiply that weightage with the load and we will find out the x coordinate and y coordinate. How we will do that? For the same problem, we will take this for x coordinate, this will be xi Li divided by total load, right. Now xi Li means this 10 into load is 452 plus next is 30 into load is 678 plus next is 80 into load is 483 plus so on, will add for rest of the 2 and divided by the total load, whatever load is, and this is how we can find out the x coordinate of the new facility. Similarly, y coordinate of the new facility will be calculated like this, multiply all the y coordinates of all the facilities with the load divided by the total load. So this is how you can find out the, see the same it is done here, the x coordinate, similarly you can find out the y coordinate. Center of gravity, right. So here the center of gravity principle has been taken care, and as per the weightage assigned we will calculate the x coordinate and y coordinate. See some example how we can implement sugar mills. Now sugar mill, you want to find out the location near to sugarcane farms. So how you can do that? Again you assign weightage to sugarcane farms from where the maximum production is coming, and then you can just find out your new location, right. Tea factories again should be where you are growing the tree leaves. In Assam maximum raw material is coming, let us shift your tea manufacturing unit near to Assam. Similarly, crude oil companies, from where you are getting the maximum raw material, crude oil. This is another important Barrington framework we are using to locate the facility. See, different nodes are there and all those points are tied with a common thread. Now these points are representing either raw material supplier or markets. Market 1, market 2, market n, raw material supplier 1, raw material supplier 2, raw material supplier n, right. Now what we are discussing till now, we are giving weightage to raw material suppliers or manufacturing unit, it can be manufacturing unit as well, or we are giving weightage to different market. If the demand is coming from particular market, high demand is coming, you will assign high weightage. If low demand is coming, you will assign low weightage to that market. What will happen if I assign those weights to all these points? So these all are tied with common node, common thread. So this common node will move towards the direction where more weight is there. That means where we are providing more weight, where we need to set up the location, priority location. So wherever this common thread, common node will come in the equilibrium, in the frictionless surface, that will be the new location. So you can just on a table, you can design this frictionless surface, just put the weights and you can find out the new location. But here we are, the median location finding method was working on rectilinear distance, right, rectilinear distance, and we saw how we can calculate rectilinear distance like this. What this model works on Euclidean distance, and how we can find out Euclidean distance? This is how you can find out the Euclidean distance, x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square whole on the root. So from these points you can find out the distance and then you can find out the total minimum cost. So this is already I explained, raw material locations or manufacturing locations or raw material markets or end market you can find out, and then you attach the bait as per their priority, and then you can find out the common location, right. So we can conclude here that facility location planning is very critical aspect, strategic decision, and it is a long term investment. Once you have chosen that location, you cannot withdraw from there. If you are withdrawing, that is a huge loss to your brand, to your product, or whatever services you are offering, right. So when you are picking up new locations, you need to evaluate all the micro as well as macro factors. So political pestle analysis you can do, political, economic, social, legal, technological, all those factors you can evaluate, right. Within that industry also you can find out the competitiveness, right. So facility location is just not the you should pick the least cost location, but you need to take care different factors. You need to decide which one which factors are more important for you, and you can see companies like Amazon and Toyota, they have successfully implemented these techniques to find the new locations. So these are some of the references you can go for. Thank you very much.